Welcome to Aadhi Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. Welcome to Aadhi Laya Academy of Music and Mathematics. We are in level 4, dealing with korvais and Aadhi Thalam. The simple korvais and Aadhi Thalam, just to get an idea of the concept of korvai, how to go about it. Before I get into the class, I will start with the Thirukkural. Allal arul alvarku illai valivalangu mallalma ஞாலம் கரி அருள் உடையவராக வாழ்கின்றவர்க்கு துன்பம் இல்லை காற்று இயங்குகின்ற வளம் பொருந்திய பெரிய உலகமே இதற்கு சான்றாகும். What does Thiruvallur say? The person who lives with wisdom does good things. He will not be affected by any means. The proof is the air which is existing in this whole world itself is a proof. Because the sheer existence of us is because of the air and the oxygen in it. Otherwise, we will not exist. So it's a proof. Because of good people living, the world is also existing. That's a great comparison Thiruvallur makes. If this good thought will get into the class. Now we have dealt many korvais now. Now you should be finding it very interesting because there's a lot of math and music which is involved. And the next one I'm going to teach you is the Takkadin Dimi sequence. In that, we can play, I'm just thinking of playing something very creative here, where we can use Gandanadai, Tisiranadai and Misranadai. The basic approach is going to be only in Chatusranadai, but I will give you a concept this can be applied as you go along and advance your skills. So let's deal with that korvai now today. Taddi thong, taddi kitta ton, di thong, taddi kitta ton thong, taddi kitta ton, taddi kitta ton, taddi kitta ton. So it's for 10 beats. How it's structured? Taddi thong, taddi kitta ton, taddi thong is 7, taddi kitta ton is 5. 7 plus 5 is 12. Now when you reduce it, Tithong tadikitatum. You are reducing by 2 syllables. It becomes 10. Tithong tadikitatum. Thong tadikitatum is Aadhi Thalam. 3 plus 5. Thong tadikitatum. Then tadikitatum, tadikitatum. Tadikitatum is 10. The structure is 10. First is tadita 12, 10 and 8. When you put it together, it's 30, and then another tadikitatum is 40. So it's a 40 syllabled korvai, which perfectly fits for 10 beats. Since 10 is divisible by 5, it's a Gandachapa korvai. Now, immediately you should trigger an idea. If it's a Gandachapa korvai, it can be played in Gandanadai. Dun tatin, 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 tatitang, tadikita katitang, tadikita katang, tadikita 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 katan, tatin, tatin. This is where I'm leading you now, but have this in your mind. This is the first part. Now, I'm going to make the structure a little different. Using the same structure, I'm going to give a different dimension. Tadit thang, instead of thang, replace the 3 with a 4. Tadikitatum, instead of 5, we replace it with a 6. So instead of 3 and a 5, you're going to play a 4 and a 6. Let's see what happens. Now this is going to be a testing time for you. Taditaga, tadikitatum, titaga, tadikitatum, taga, tadikitatum, tadikitatum, tadikitatum. What you have done now is you have increased the earlier korvai by proportionately increasing at each places and giving 8 syllable extra, making it a 12 beat cycle. The 12 beat, moment you say 12 beat, it's divisible by 3. It also fits in 4. It also fits in 3. So let's experiment in Rupaka Thalam whether it fits. Tadittaga, tadikitatantittaga, tadikitatantaga, tadikitatatadikitatatadikitatatanta. Perfectly fits in Rupaka Thalam. When it fits in Rupaka Thala, you can play in this round. Ding, takita 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 tadittaga, tadikitatatadittaga, tadikitataga, tadikitatagadikitatagadikitata. So in Aadhi Thalam, Tisharanadai, you can perfectly fit this. When you are playing the Ganda 10 beat cycle, you can play in Gandanadai. When you play a 12 beat cycle, you can play in Tisharanadai. Let's further give an experiment by further adding one more syllable here and there, and then we will see how it progresses. From 3 you increase to 4, from 5 you increase to 6. So the next logical step is from 4 you increase to 5, from 6 you increase to 7. Tadittagang, tadikitatantittagang, tadikitatantagang, tadikitatantagadikitatatadikitata. What has now happened, you have again increased equal proportions. Another 8 syllable have got added. The 12 beats have become 14 beats. When you say 14 beats, it's divisible by 7. So you have to experiment it, trying it out in Visarachapathala. Tadittagag, tadikitatantittagang, tadikitatantagang, tadikitatantagadikitatatadikitata. So it fits. So for a 5, you play a Gandanadai. For a 6, you play a Tisharanadai. For a 7, you play a Misaranadai. So this is the combination. Now, before you do all these complexities, combine all these and see how you can fit into Aadhi Thalam itself by playing all these 3 varieties. So 10 beats. For next one, when you increased it, it is 12 beats. 10 plus 12, 22. Then you increase by another 2 beats, which is 14. 22 plus 14 is 36. In Aadhi Thalam, it is an 8 beat cycle. So nearest 8 into 1, 8. 8 2s are 16. 8 3s are 24. 8 4s are 32. 30, you have got 36. So 8 5s are 40. So you have to take a bigger one. So into that 40, you are going to fit this 36 now. So what you need to do, as you have to repeat the korvai thrice, you give 2 korvais in between, 2 syllable beat. So 10, after playing this 10 beat cycle, give a 2 korvai. After playing the 12 beat cycle, give a 2 korvai. Then you play the 14 beat. When you add it up, it's 40. So 10 plus 2, 12. 12 plus 12, 24. 24 plus 2, 26. 26 plus 14, 40. So it fits in Aadhi Thalam. Let's try whether it fits here. Now, when you have scientifically proved, obviously it should sit into that structure. Then you should try telling into the structure and see whether it's fitting into the structure. Taditta, tadikitatantitta, tadikitatantta, tadikitatantagadikitatatadikitata. Tadittaga, tadikitatantittaga, tadikitatantaga, tadikitatatadikitatatadikitata. Tadittaga, tadikitatantittaga, tadikitatantaga, tadikitatatadikitata. So most aesthetic korvai, when you play, people might think it may not cut, it's not fitting into that. But eventually it will land perfectly. The way you have to play this korvai, So hope you have understood this concept, because it's a little tricky concept. You have to understand, and when you want to play silo, just only the 10 beat, in Aadhi Thalam you should start at appropriate place and you can play only once that cycle. Takata dimita dim, takata dimita dim, takata dimita dim, takita takadin, takata dimita dim, takita takadin, takita takadin, tadita, tadikita tantita, tadikita tanta, tadikita 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 takata dimita dim. If you want to play once and then show a variety, some variety, and then move on, and to show your other expertise, you can do that. That's one way of doing it. Not necessarily you have to play only the korvai all the time. You want to express only the 12 as part of the sequence and then move on, you can do that as well. Takata dimita dim, takata dimita dim, takata dimita dim, kadaka dimita dim, kadaka dimita dim, kadaka dimita dim, kadaka dimita dim. You can show your prowess. The most interesting point I want to mention here is, you should not exactly all the time give an obvious reason, obvious landing into the korvai. You can integrate it beautifully. People should not know that you're going to play the korvai, but suddenly you should get into the korvai. That's the intelligence you have to use, how to seamlessly integrate how a river gets into the ocean. You never know. This is the same water. It just enters into the ocean. Similarly, when you're playing something, your expertise in such a way that your sequence should blend into the korvai. That should be your expertise. And you can also play towards the end, show your Tisram, Gandam, Tisram and Misram. You do those variety as you play the korvai to show your perfection in laya. So with this, I will conclude this class. These classes are very simple and focused, where the concepts are delivered. Now we can even try what we have been experimenting here. 3-5, we increased to 4-6, we increased to 5-7, we got different korvais. We associated all those things, tagged it, play in Aadhi Thalam. We thought about playing in different nadais. All these are concepts, you have to assimilate it well. And also you can experiment it. Who stops you from increasing from after 5 you can increase to 6 and 8, increase from 7 and 9, and try where you're landing. And what you can play, and for 7 and 9 what are the different phrases you can use. All these are creativity, the thoughts you should get, and then try to experiment around and see how best you can combine the phrases and get into the next level. So that's the beauty of this academy. Like, it's just not teaching, it's just that I create an inquisitiveness where you use that and embellish your skills into different dimensions. I hope you'll all do that and show me in the next review when I come here with whatever the ideas you have got interestingly. Okay? Now, I will end this class with the Thirukural and I'll see you in the next class. பொருள் நீங்கி பொச்சாந்தார் என்பர் அருள் நீங்கி அல்லவை செய்து ஒழுகுவார் அருளின்றி தீயவற்றை செய்து வாழ்கின்றவர் உறுதி பொருளாகி அறத்தை இழந்து தம் வாழ்க்கை குறிக்கோளையும் மறந்தவர் ஆவர். So, what does Thiruvalur say? The people who forget the wisdom, they do get into the bad acts, will eventually fall a prey before God, before the Almighty. That's what Thiruvalur compares. So let's ensure that we do good acts. With this good thought, Povanur RVA is signing off, and I'll see you in the next class, where I will be concluding with Mora Korvai, new Mora Korvai for Aadhi Thalam for now, as part of this level 4. Pranams. Episode 5 Aadhi Thalam Korvai 1 Mathematical Understanding Total count of 40 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Tadithang, tadikita tadithang, tadikita tadhang, tadikita 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 tadha. Episode 5 Aadhi Thalam Korvai 2 Mathematical Understanding Total count of 48 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Tadittaga, tadikita tadittaga, tadikita tadaga, tadikita 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 tada. Episode 5 Aadhi Thalam Korvai 3 Mathematical Understanding Total count of 56 aksharas. Interpretation of korvai goes like this. Taditta thang, tadikita taditta thang, tadikita tadhan thang, tadikita 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 tada.